early days of the DNA company, one of our early stage investors had come to see us at the office. It was concerned that at the age of 38, he had already developed cholesterol issues. And if you were to look at his diet and lifestyle habits, it just didn't add up. He was exercising 6 days a week. He ate properly. As a pharmacist, he was very careful about his health in general, as well educated on the subject. Why then did he have this issue? He asked, is this genetic, quote unquote? And that's where we said, well, we're not going to look for direct causation, but we're going to understand your systems and try and figure out what got you there. When we looked at his genetic map, the first red flag we saw was the endothelial lining, that inner lining of the arteries around the heart. He had the suboptimal version, so call it the paper-thin version. On top of that, his detox pathways were suboptimal. In fact, he was actually missing 2 of the main detoxification genes. Lastly, his methylation or anti-inflammatory capacity was not there. So now you have to look at lifestyle. What was he doing that would cause him to express this cholesterol issue? Because you could have that exact same genotype, put someone on a beach in Aruba, and they'll never get sick because there was no load put on them to get them there. As an avid golfer, directly after work, he would go straight to the golf course and spend a few hours there. And what was he exposed to that he wasn't able to handle? The toxic chemicals, the pesticides that made that golf course so beautiful to begin with. Something that seems so innocent is actually extremely harmful if you aren't genetically designed to deal with it. The other 2 or 3 days a week that he wasn't golfing, he was playing tennis, which again would seem like a great thing for his health concern. Meanwhile, he was playing aggressively, and that was his cardio time. So in that cardio time, he was pushing himself till he was sweating and breathing heavy, meaning he was dipping into what's called oxidative stress. Burning that fuel in your mitochondria of your cell, that battery, the ATP, because the glucose free flowing in your blood is just not enough at that point. That produces smoke. You burn any fuel, gas, electricity, there's always a byproduct of smoke. So now he's got chemicals from pesticides free flowing through his blood. All these oxidants that he's produced from putting himself into oxidative stress from that heavy cardio, causing damage and abrasions to this thin cellular wall that was never meant to deal with toxicity in the first place. Typically, your anti-inflammatory system would kick in to reduce that inflammation and prevent disease, which he didn't do well. So what is the body's final response? Deploy cholesterol to that area as a hormone to mitigate the damage being caused and reduce the inflammation. What happens to cholesterol when it meets toxicity? It actually hardens and it stays there. At the age of 38, all of these great habits that he thought he had were actually what led to his cholesterol issue. A few months of intervention and we reversed things for him, we got him better, but this is why personalization is so important. The thing that is good for one person may be poison for another, but until you understand your genetic map, you don't know what choices to make.